Hello everyone. So here we are once again. So basically today we are going to discuss from question number 31 to question number 50. So let us discuss it. So question number 31 to 40 is basically based on ordering of sentences. Directions here are, in this section each item consists of 6 sentences that comprise a passage. The first and 6 sentences are given in the beginning as S1 and S6. So here basically two sentences are already provided to you, that is S1 and S6. Then the sequence of 4 sentences in the middle labeled as PQRS are provided to you. 4 different sentences are also provided to you, that is PQRS, and we have to arrange them systematically. Has been jumbled. You are required to find the proper sequence of the 4 jumbled sentences and mark your response on the answer sheet accordingly. So basically from question number 31 to 40 we need to arrange 4 different sentences PQRS in a systematic manner from S1 to S6. Let us do it right now. So question is S1, the word science originates from the Latin word scientia meaning to know. Here S1 is provided to us. Basically in S1 statement we have given the origin of the word science, that is it is originated from the word Latin and it means to know. An S6 statement here is, by the middle of the 20th century, science had become a truly international enterprise with many cultures and countries contributing to its rapid growth. Now, in this statement, that is in the last statement, S6 is the last statement, we are talking about the 20th century statement here. Okay? So, there are two keywords. In S1, basically, origin of word science has been explained. In S6, important keyword here is 20th century. Now let us discuss these different sentences. P statement is, science in a broad sense is as old as the human species. Q statement is, from the 16th century onwards great strides were also made in science in Europe. Now in Q statement, once again 16th century. See, whenever in this kind of a question any timeline is mentioned, we need to underline those so that we can arrange them in a systematic order. In R statement, early civilizations of Egypt, India, China, Greece, Mesopotamia and many others made vital contribution to its progress. So in basically R statement, we have given the examples of the early civilization. In S statement, the Sanskrit word Vijnana and the Arabic word ilm convey a similar meaning, namely knowledge. Now once again, even in S statement, we have given the origin of the word science, that is from the Arabic and as well as from the Sanskrit roots. So if we arrange them in a systematic manner. Now let us see, our S1 statement was the basically origin of the word science. It was emphasizing that it basically belongs from the Latin word. Now what should we arrange it after it? If you look at the another statements, S is the another statement once again where we are focusing on the origin of the word. So it should be followed after the word S1. So basically our sentence will start from the S statement. So we can simply eliminate the option number A, that is it is starting with the Q. So it cannot be the answer. Now we have 3 options left. Now we need to see S should be followed by P or Q. Now after it, P statement. Science in a broad sense is as old as the human species, and then the R statement, the early civilizations of Egypt, India, China, Greece, Mesopotamia and many others made vital contribution to its progress. So basically P is the general description what basically science is according to the human species. Then we are giving the further example of the statement P by using the different early civilizations. So P should be followed by R statement. So if we look at these particular option, S is the first word, basically first sentence, then P should be followed by the R and at the end Q should be there. So B should be the correct option. We need to find the keywords in these kind of sentences so that we can arrange them in a systematic manner. So here B, that is SPRQ, should be the right answer. Now question number 2. Britain was the first country experienced modern industrialization. S6 statement is, this gave people a wider choice of ways to spend their earnings and expanded the market for the sale of goods. So basically in this statement, in S1 statement, we are emphasizing on the fact that Britain was the first country which experienced industrialization. And last statement is basically we are emphasizing on the choice of ways to spend their earnings and expanded the market. This is our last statement. Now let us basically read the P statement. Stability meant that the kingdom had common laws, a single currency, and a market that was not fragmented by local authorities, levying taxes on goods that passed through their area, thus increasing their price. In statement number P, we are basically defining the stability. There is no correlation between the S1 and P statement. Now let us read the question. Let us read the statement Q. It had been politically stable since the 17th century, with England, Wales, and Scotland unified under a monarchy. Once again, even in the Q statement, we are talking about the stability. So it means these two statements should be together in the sentence. Ideally, Q should be prior it, then we are further defining what should be the stability. So we can arrange this thing that Q should be followed by the statement P, because Q we are basically introducing the political stability, and in P statement we are defining the stability. Then this should be the sequence in the options. So we can also eliminate by using this particular thing. So in this statement, and in this statement, basically Q is followed by P. But in this statement, this is not the case, so we can simply eliminate this option. C cannot be the answer here. Now let us see another options. By the end of the 17th century, money was widely used as the medium of exchange. As a R statement, as a consequence, a large section of the people received their income in the form of wages and salary rather than good. See, R, S and S6 statement are basically talking about the money and how it was universally divided among the people and how basically people were spending this thing. So it means R and S6 should be together in the sentence. So if we look at this particular scenario, then A will be more appropriate option, because Q here is followed by the word P, and then R, S are together and they are further followed by the sentence S6. So answer should be QPRS, that is A option. Now let us discuss the question number 3, that is S1. William first had the land map and distributed it in sections to 180 Norman nobles who had migrated with him to Britain. In this particular statement, that is S1, we are talking about the Norman nobles. Okay? In S6, let us read the S6 statement. Thus, Anglo-Saxon peasants became tenants of various levels of landholders. This is the last statement. This is the conclusion of this particular statement. So this is our last statement. Now let us read the PQRS statement. P statement. They could not, however, use their knights for private warfare, which was forbidden in England. In this particular statement, we are talking about the knights. Keyword here is knight. But in the first statement, we were talking about the normal nobles. So this cannot follow the S1 statement. Now let us read the statement Q. They soon began to gift some of their own lands to knights who would serve them, just as they in turn served the king. Once again, here keyword here is knight. Once again, in this statement we are talking about the knights, so it cannot follow the S1 statement. Now let us see it again. In our statement, they were obliged to supply a certain number of knights to the king. Okay? Once again we are talking about the knights here. Now let us read the last statement, that is S. These noble lords became the chief tenants of the king and were expected to give him military help. Now in this particular statement, we are talking about the noble lords. In the first statement also we were talking about the Norman nobles, or basically nobles. So S1 should be followed by the S statement. So answer can be either 6 or answer can be either C or D. A and B cannot be the answer here. Okay? So basically our statement should start with the S statement, or S1 should be followed by the statement S. It cannot follows after the A and B statement. So let us see. Now what should be written after S? Either Q statement should be written or R statement should be written. We need to check this thing only. So S is these noble lords became the chief tenants of the king and were expected to give the military help. They basically, noble lords were required to give the military help. Now after this, we must introduce the concept of knight here, so that they can provide the military help to the king. Let us see it. they were obliged to supply a certain number of knights to the king, they soon began to gift some of their own lands to knights who would serve them just as they in turn served the king. So if you look at the statement number Q and R is that statement which is basically introducing the knights in the story. So your S should be followed by the R sentence, then it should be followed by the Q sentence, then after it P should be written. So correct answer would be D, that is SRQP. So answer of question number 3 is SRQP. Now let us see the question number 4. Here S1 statement is, in an economic sense, feudalism refers to a kind of a system of agriculture production. So in S1 statements, basically we are defining the feudalism. Now let us look at the S6 statement. Thus, feudalism went beyond economic aspects to cover the social and political aspect of life as well. Now in S6, we are basically covering the different aspects of the feudalism. So let us look at the first statement again. Here we are basically introducing the concept of feudalism. Now let us read the different statements here. P, in fact, the latter cultivated their own land as well as that of the lord. In P statement, we are using the word latter. Then there should be some precursor here. So this cannot follow the S1 statement. Now let us look at the another options too. It is based on the relationship between lords and peasants who worked on the farmer's land. R statement, they also had judicial control over the peasants. S statement, the peasants also performed other labor for the lords who in exchange provided military protection. So if we compare all the different statements, only Q is that particular statement which is further emphasizing or defining the concept of feudalism. So ideally S1 should be followed by the sentence Q. So our sentence can basically, our options can start with Q. So you can simply eliminate option number C and D. Either answer A or answer B will be the right answer. Now let us see. Q should be followed by P or it should be followed by S. We need to compare this thing only. P statement is, in fact, the latter cultivated their own land as well as that of the two lords. If you see, in statement Q, there we have mentioned the word farmer. Opposite of the former word is latter. So we can basically arrange that after Q, we should write the statement P so that it can make sense sequentially. So Q should be followed by the P statement, and according to this, A will be the correct answer. So answer of question number 4 is A, that is QPSR. We have to use elimination method again and again to solve ordering of sentences question. Now question number 5. S1 statement here is, the Japanese empire was considered rich. So basically in S1 statement, we are introducing the Japanese empire, that they were considered rich at that time. Okay? So now let us read the S6 statement. Soon other developments such as the increased use of money and the creation of a stock market in rice show that the economy was developing in new ways. Okay? So this is our final statement. Now we need to basically say which statement further defined why was Japanese considered rich, what happened at that time, or they were giving the example of certain their richness. So we need to look at these statements. So let us read the PQRS statements. P, however, paying for these imports with gold and silver strained the economy and led the Tokugawa to put restrictions on the export of precious metals. Okay, this cannot follow the S1 statement because here we are saying something in contrast. But if you want to use however, there should be like contrast, then there should be prior any basically basic statement should be there which should be in contrast with that particular statement. So we cannot write P here. Now let us see option number Q. Over time, the silk from Nishijin came to be known as the best in the world. And then R statement, they also took steps to develop the silk industry in Nishijin in Kyoto so as to reduce imports. In Q and R statement, we are basically talking about Nishijin. So they should be together, but they cannot follow the S1 statement because here we are not talking about why Japanese empire were considered rich. Now let us read the statement S. This was because it imported luxury goods like silk from China and textiles from India. So in this statement, we are basically providing the reason of the S1 statement that why Japanese people were considered rich. So our sentence should start with the S option. So simply by this logic, we can eliminate option number A and B. So answer can be either C or it can be D. Now let us see what should be written after the S statement. See, after S statement, basically, we can say that Q and R should be together in the sentence because both the statements are talking about the decision. Okay? So we can mention that Q and R should be together. So if we go by this particular logic, this cannot be the option here because there is a breakage between these 2 points. So this cannot be the option. Answer would be SPRQ. So correct answer is C, that is SPRQ. Now let us discuss the question number 6, that is S1 statement here is a seasoned cricketer catches a cricket ball coming in with great speed far more easily than a novice who can hurt his hand in the act. So here in S1 statement we are talking about the seasoned cricketer and novice. Novice is somebody who is a beginner. So basically in this statement we are comparing one seasoned or experienced cricketer and a novice. Okay? Now S6 statement, the conclusion here is clear. Force not only depends on the change in momentum but also on how fast the change is brought about. So here in this particular statement we are talking about the force and momentum. These are the keywords here. Now let us read the P statement. P statement, the novice on the other hand keeps his hand fixed and tries to catch the ball almost instantly. So basically here we are talking how novice play in this statement, but important key phrase here is on the other hand. So it means one prior statement should be there so that we can compare it with the novice. So this cannot follow the S1 statement. Now let us see statement number Q. One reason is that the seasoned cricketer allows a longer time for his hands to stop the ball. Now let us read the R statement also. Consequently, he needs to provide a much greater force to stop the ball instantly and this hurts. And the last statement is, he does this by drawing his hands backward in the act of catching the ball. So, if we read statement number Q, R and S, we can simply say R cannot be written after the S1 statement. In fact, it should be the last statement because in S6 we are talking about the force and even in R we are talking about the force. So, this cannot be this cannot follow the S1 statement. In fact, R should be the last word here. If we use this particular logic, then we can simply eliminate A and C option. Answer can be either B or it can be D. And both these statements are starting with the Q. Then just we need to check is Q should be followed by P or it should be followed by S. What should be the right scenario here? So let us read the P and S statement again. P, the novice on the other hand keeps his hands fixed and tries to catch the ball almost instantly, and the S statement is he does this by drawing his hands backward in the act of catching the ball. So ideally in the Q statement we were expressing things about the seasoned cricketer, then it should be followed by how that seasoned cricketer plays the match. Then we should write S statement, then after it we can contrast it with the scenario of the novice, and after this another statement should be written. So here correct answer will be Q, then we need to write the S statement, then after that we can write the P statement, and then at the end we should write the R statement. So this should be the correct answer, QSPR. So answer of question number 6 is D, that is QSPR. Now question number 7, S1 statement, people fall down from staircases in different ways in different countries. Okay? So here in S1 statement, we are basically explaining that how people fall down from staircases, that is from ladders or something. Okay? S6 statement, this is because for the Americans, their home is usually the only place where they regularly use the stairs. In S6 statement, we are explaining how Americans fell down. So let us read the another statements. P, they rely instead on the ease and safety of lifts and escalators which are ubiquitous in such places. This cannot follow the S1 statement because it is not related to S1. Now let us read the Q statement. This is not because the Japanese are more reckless. staircase users, but simply because Americans don't much use the stairs in public places. See, here we are using, here we are comparing the Japanese and American, but we have not introduced the Japanese here. So there should be some another statement prior it. So even this cannot be the first statement. Now let us see R. Staircase injuries therefore happen mostly in the home. Even this cannot be the first statement. Now let us read the S1, that is, for instance, someone in Japan is far more likely to be hurt in a staircase, fall in an office, department store or railway station than is anyone in the United States. So basically in S statement only, we are further explaining the S1 statement. We are giving the examples of the S1, that how different people fell down in actuality. Okay? So our first statement should be S. So by this logic, we can eliminate the option number A because it is starting with the Q statement. Now we need to check S should be followed by P or it should be followed by Q. We need to check this thing only. Okay? So P statement, they rely instead on the ease and safety of lifts and escalators which are ubiquitous in such places. Okay? Here basically they means United States, that people in United States, they do not use much staircase. Now let us read the Q statement. This is not because the Japanese are more reckless staircase users, but simply because Americans don't much use the stairs in public spaces. See, in the statement S, we were explaining the Japanese people. So ideally, Q should be written after S statement, because here further we are explaining that what is the reason that Japanese people fell down. So S should be followed by Q statement. So once again, answer can be either C or D, because in both the statement, in both the options, S is followed by the Q statement. So we can eliminate option number B2. Now we need to check what should be written after it. Either we should use R or we should use P. Now if we see R, staircase injuries therefore happen mostly in the home. Now, and P statement basically, they rely instead on the ease and safety of lifts and escalators which are ubiquitous in such places. In option number Q, we were also explaining that Americans, they do not use much stairs. If they are not using the stairs, then what they use in public places, they basically rely on lifts and escalators. So ideally, what should be written the after Q? P should be written after Q, and then we need to write the R statement. So correct option here will be S, Q and P, R. T is the right option here, because only then it is basically making sense. Now question number 8, S1, the lantana plant is not native to India. So basically in S1 statement, we are explaining that lantana plant is not native to India. So we need to find then what are the different description about it. Let us read the another statements. S6, however, eradicating lantana is a long and arduous process which can only be carried out with a lot of technical expertise and financial commitment. So S6 statement is basically talking how can we basically remove the lantana plant. So let us focus on the another statements. P statements, since then it has spread over 6 lakh square kilometers covering 50% of the country's natural area. Q, research also shows that the lantana has invaded most pasture lands in the country. R, it was introduced in the country as an ornamental plant by the British in the 1800s. S, a 2020 estimate by researchers shows that the plant occupies 40% of forest, including tiger reserves. So if we compare all the different options, R is the more appropriate one here, because it is further explaining that how it was introduced, when it was introduced and where it was introduced. So basically S1 should be followed by the R statement. So by this logic, two options, that is option number A and D, will be eliminated. Answer can be either B or it can be C. Now we need to find what should we write after R, whether we should write P or Q. Now let us check that. P statement, since then it has spread over 6 lakh square kilometers, and Q statement, research also shows that the lantana has invaded most pasture land in the country. See, ideally whenever there are two information, one is specific or factual information and another one is general information, we tend to write specific information prior the general one. So P should be written prior the Q statement. V should be written firstly. So ideally, what we need to write after R, we should write P statement, then it should be followed by the S statement, and then it should be written by Q statement. So option number B is the right option. We tend to write specific information prior than the general information. That's the reason we are basically saying that B is the right option here. Question number 9. S1, biodiversity is crucial for the sustenance of life. So basically in question number 9, in S1 statement, we are introducing the concept of biodiversity. Now let us check the statement 6. After all, products that benefit customers must also positively impact the environment. Now let us read the another statements. P. Corporations have a social responsibility to help navigate discourses on biodiversity and leverage opportunities for sustainable development. So in P statement, we are basically talking about the corporations, while in S1 statement, we are talking about the biodiversity. So P kind of a statement which we need to write after S1 is it must focuses on the biodiversity only. Okay, so let us see. Q statement, conserving biodiversity requires the urgent collaboration between and involvement of individuals and corporation. So in this statement, yes, we are talking about the biodiversity. We are further explaining how we can conserve biodiversity. So ideally, our sentence should start with the Q. Okay, Q is the first in sequence. So we can say, we can simply eliminate option number S and option number B, basically option number B and option number C here, because both these statements are starting either with the S or P. We can simply eliminate B and C option. Answer can be either A or it can be D, because here both these statements are starting from the Q only. So let us see. Q, now as we can see in both the option, Q is followed by the P statement. So it is fixed. Now we need to check further P should be followed by R or it should be followed by S. By the way, in statement P, basically we are talking about the corporations, that corporate have a social responsibility to help navigate discourses on biodiversity. Now let us see. In our statement, further, customers' demand for greener products can be a catalyst for sustainability. While S statement, redesigning manufacturing processes, adopting new technologies and shifting to a paperless environment are ways to achieve such development. Say this is something which can be done by the corporations. So ideally, it basically further explain that how corporate are socially responsible for preserving the biodiversity. So P should be followed by the S statement, because these are the ways of the corporation only. So if you look at this particular scenario, we can start our sentence with the Q, then it should be followed by P, then after P we need to write the S statement and then R. So answer number D, that is option number D, QPSR, it should be the correct option here. Now question number 10, S1, among the momentous watersheds through which human beings have passed since their appearance over 1 lakh years ago, none has been more profound in its consequences than the shift to agriculture. So basically here we are emphasizing on the impact of agriculture. Okay? So this is the keyword or important word here. Now let us read the another statements. S6, unfortunately, such transformation disrupted delicate natural balances as humans sought enhanced control over their new modes of subsistence. Okay? Now let us read the P statement. They did this by purposefully transforming landscapes with their agriculture, field and pastures. Okay? Now let us read the another statement. They lived much like the way in which their own hominid predecessors had lived for millions of years as integral component of the earth ecosystem. Statement are, however, with the invention of practices of agriculture, these new farmers and herders began manipulating their surroundings to an unprecedented degree. Last statement, as before that, for countless generations, nearly all humans had lived as hunters and gatherers, dwelling together in small, stable, nomadic bands that operated in close harmony with nature. If we compare the all statement, here we are talking that early humans, they have discovered the agriculture. Then ideally, what should be written closer to it, that what happened prior that. This is the only statement which is talking about that before that, basically before turning into agriculture, people were hunters and gatherers. Only then change happened. Now if we look at all the another options, D is the only option which is getting started with the S. All other contains either R or P. So they cannot be the answer. So ideally answer of question number 10 will be D option, that is SQRP. So these were the different ordering of sentences. Now we need to discuss the idioms and phrases. So let us continue the next set of questions. Given below are some idioms and phrases followed by 4 alternative meanings. To each, select the most appropriate response from the options provided and mark your response on the answer sheet accordingly. So basically from this lot, we have provided with the different idioms and phrases, and we need to find their appropriate or correct meaning. Now let us discuss that. First idiom and phrase is mealy-mouthed. Now let us read the options. Option A, habituated to inflicting harsh words on others. B option, possessing exquisite culinary sensibilities. C option, lacking braveness to state things forthrightly. D option, exhibiting tendency for gluttony. See, although it may seem like that it is connected to the food, or it means the something related to the food, but that is not the case. This idiom and phrase is not related with the food and taste. So by this logic, we can simply eliminate option number B and D, because culinary means something related to food, gluttony means habit of eating too much food. So these two options will be eliminated. In fact, this word mealy-mouthed means lacking braveness to state things forthrightly, means if somebody lack the courage to speak directly, that is the meaning of mealy-mouthed. So answer of question number 11 will be C. Now question number 12, live in each other's pocket. It means something or somebody who is very closer to one another. That's when we use this particular idiom and phrase. So now let us read the option. Option A, to have a lot of money that is shared with others. This is not related with the money. Option number B, to exchange wealth readily with each other. Once again, wealth is the keyword here. This particular idiom and phrase is not related with the money, so it cannot be the answer. Option number C, to live by borrowing from each other. Once again, you can basically borrow the money. So borrowing is the keyword here, so it cannot be the answer of this particular idiom and phrase. So answer of question number 12 will be to spend too much time together, to live too closer to one another. That will be the answer of question number 12. So D is the correct option here. Question number 13, play possum. See, possum here is basically one animal, okay, kind of a rodent, which usually plays dead whenever somebody catch him. So if you look at this particular option, option A is the most appropriate one, that is pretend to be dead. So play possum means pretending to be dead to avoid a situation. So answer is option number A. Question number 14, work like a dog. See, this one is quite an easy idiom and phrase. Now let us read the options. Option A, to work in the hope of reward. B, to work faithfully. C, to work very hard. D, to make a mess while working. So work like a dog means somebody who is very hard working, who does lot of work. That's when we use this particular idiom and phrase. So according to this, C will be the correct option, that is to work very hard. Question number 15, open a can of worms. See, this happened when if you open a can of worms, this basically means to say something or to create a situation which further cause a domino effect of something, okay, kind of a chain effect of something. So if we read these particular option, let us see. Option A, to create suspense about how things will turn out. This is quite unrelated with the first basically idiom and phrase. B option, to spark a situation that creates problems and complications. Option number C, to create trouble by saying the right thing at the wrong time. This thing is wrong, okay. Option number D, to create something without anyone knowing about it. If you look at this particular statement, it simply means to spark a situation or to do something that further caused difficulties for the other people. So only option number B is the appropriate answer of question number 15, that is open a can of worms. So answer is option number B. Question number 16, more than meets the eye. This is a very common phrase. It simply means sometimes we are in a scenario when we are not able to see each and everything, but we can literally sense it that something beyond is happening. So this is the meaning of this particular statement. So let us read these statements. Option number A, a pleasant feast for the eyes beyond one's imagination. This term is not related with this particular thing. We are not talking about any kind of a party or treat here. Okay, this is unrelated. A beautiful spectacle unfolding before one's eye. Once again, that does not mean anything good or beautiful happening. So you can simply you can simply eliminate these two options because both are talking about something good. Option number C, the disguised significance of something beyond the obvious. This is the appropriate answer for question number 16 because here in this statement only we are talking that we are basically saying something that is hidden in a scenario, something complexity that is hidden. So 16 answer of question number 16 should be C. D is the a pair of beautiful eyes. Once again, it is not related with the meaning of the word more than meets the eye. Question number 17, that is hold the fort. Now hold the fort means whenever your counterpart, so whenever people around you, they are absent, you are basically maintaining the situation. So if we look at these option number A, to reach high places, this is completely wrong. To breach all opposition, once again this is wrong. Be present at the precise moment when one is required. And option number D, be responsible on behalf of someone who is absent. As I said, whenever someone around you is absent and you are maintaining, you are basically doing their work, you are maintaining any kind of a responsibility, that is the meaning of the statement hold the fort. So answer of question number 17 is D, that is be responsible on behalf of someone who is absent. Now question number 18, it's all Greek to me. It's a very common idiom and phrase. It simply means whenever you are not able to understand something, that's when you use this particular idiom and phrase. So answer of question number 18 will be option C, that is I can't understand it at all. So C is the right option here. Question number 19, to close ranks. It simply means to unite, to do something together. Okay? If you are fighting for a common goal and people are teaming up, that's when you use the question number 19. That's when you use this particular idiom and phrase, that is to close ranks. Now let us read the options. Option A, to engage in fierce competition. This is quite unrelated. We are not talking about any kind of a competition here. Option B, to stop communicating with one's colleague. Once again, this is wrong. It simply means, this particular statement means to work together, to achieve a common target. Now option C, to stop hiring people for new jobs. Once again, this is very unrelated. Option D, to unite in order to defend a common interest. This is the right option here. It means to work in a team. So D is the correct option of question number 19, that is to close ranks. Now question number 20, be under a cloud. See, cloud is basically related to doubt or suspicion. Okay? If somebody is doing something shady, that's when you use the word be under a cloud. Now let us read the option. Option A, to be the object of suspicion. Option B, to be filled with gloom. Option C, to operate as an undercover agent. Option D, to hide one's misdeed. So appropriate answer here will be to be the object of suspicion or doubt, to be the object of mistrust. So this is the appropriate answer of the question number 20.